We do not have time to worry about what's going on in somebody else's life. We don't. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe for more of this content. Right to it. We don't have time as women to worry about everything that's going on in somebody else's life. It's not that we don't care, because we care about people. We love people. We love our family. We love our friends. However, we don't meditate on things that are bad. We don't meditate on problems. We don't meditate on issues. We do things that make for peace in our lives. As women, we have to keep ourselves in a light and airy space, especially if we are operating to our true nature as feminine women. You can't be a feminine woman and take in constant negativity. You can't allow people to dump all over you and expect to be able to put out the light and airy things of life. If your constant conversation is about things that are heavy and then you wonder why you're in a bad mood, it's because you're taking in things that are not meant for you to take in as a woman. As women, we are built differently than men. Men can withstand a lot of heaviness. They can withstand a lot of mental heaviness, a lot of physical heaviness. They can bear up under more than we can. But as women, as I believe, God did not create us to take on the weight of the world. We are to be light. We are to be carefree, not careless, but carefree. Me personally, I don't allow people to constantly reiterate negative things to me. Once you've told me about whatever's going on, I've talked to you about it. We discussed it. We try to, you see, we're going to do the help. We prayed. We further talked. But after a while, I don't want to continue to talk about the same negative things over and over again. You know why? Because it's going to harden me. And as a feminine woman, that should be something that you have to guard yourself against, becoming hard. We see a lot of women in the world already that are very hard, very harsh, very rugged, forward, tough. As women, we don't want to be forward tough. We want to be sustainable. We want to be able to sustain and endure some stuff, but we cannot allow ourselves to become hardened. And if you are walking true to the person you are, to the feminine nature that God created you in, you cannot take in a lot of negativity. Also, you have to be mindful of the company that you're keeping. If you have people around you who thrive on drama, they thrive on gossip, they thrive on anything that's happening bad in the world, they thrive on it, you need to distance yourself, if not completely get away from those people, in my opinion. I know firsthand what being in the presence of a negative person nonstop can do to you. When I am in my element, when I'm home, when I'm living my day-to-day life, I'm pretty calm, I'm pretty peaceful, I just kind of flow. But when I get around certain family members, not that they're in control, because nobody can make you do anything. You do have to have a level of discipline. But none of us are, none of us are not, we can come up against temptation. We can be tempted to be ways that we're not supposed to be. Excuse me. Let me grab some water. I'm losing my voice here. We all get tempted. And if you put yourself in the situation or in the environment that you're going to be tempted to act out of character, you need to remove yourself or limit how much you are around those people. Like I was about to say, I have certain family members. I know when I get into their presence, they have the ability to bring the absolute worst out of me. And I haven't mastered staying the way that I normally am when I'm in the presence of those people. If they prick me the wrong way or say the wrong things, I know either I have to go or it's going to be full-blown game over. So having that awareness, because none of us are perfect, whether you're walking true to your femininity, whether you are just trying to live in the core of who you are as a woman, which is being feminine, you will still get tempted. And there will be a time where you will still have to be about that life if you need to be. But that is not to be the main way that you operate. And if you are surrounding yourselves and taking in content that hardens you, you will begin to lean over more into the masculine side, and that's not what you want. So be mindful of the things that you're taking in and the company that you're keeping. Some people are very, very, very excited about keeping other people's name in their mouth constantly. They like to gossip. They like to talk about people, which is gossiping. They like to just do a lot of negative things and dwell on negative things. I don't know if you guys ever experienced, like, you have friends that they like talking about negative stuff, but the moment you want to bring up something light or something positive, like, let's say, for example, you were having, like, you talked to your girlfriend about an issue that you and your spouse or you and your boyfriend was having, and y'all had a heated argument. He did something, and you confided in your friend because she's your friend. But fast forward a week later, and issues resolved between you and your husband. You're no longer having these issues, but that friend brings up the situation from last week. Maybe she hasn't seen you in a week, let's say that. And she'll bring up the situation, and you'll tell her, like, yeah, he's, but we're good now and stuff. And she'll say something like, oh, I'm glad, but yeah, he does need to work on that. She tries to keep the fuel going because she likes to keep the fire going. Be mindful of people like that. It's like they enjoy seeing you more miserable than happy. I don't know how to describe that, but I can just tell you it's wicked. So be mindful of being in the presence of people like that too, who will not let go of the negative situations that you have been through. People who like to constantly drum up your past. People who constantly drum up your past are not your friends, and they will not allow you to become the person that you are becoming. Not so much allow, but they will always be a hindrance to the person that you are becoming, because they will constantly remind you of what you came from and who you used to be. There's some people who only know the old version of you, and there's some people who are stagnant in their thinking. They don't realize that people can change, that just because you were one way last year doesn't mean you're going to be the same way this year. They're still talking to the person you were last year, but the person that you are this year, you no longer tolerate gossip. You want to live as a true feminine woman. You want to be more gracious, more classy. You want to be more sophisticated. You want to be more peaceful minded and just focus on things that are positive. They're used to the you that likes to just take in TV shows that don't do nothing for you and spend hours of just sitting there watching so you have something to talk about. They're not used to the you that's actually, on the computer looking up business ideas or creating ebooks or, creating business strategies or pampering yourself at the hair salon or nail salon, or you're actually home just resting and reading. They're not used to that version of you. I speak from experience because when I began to change the way that I operate, I had people who were looking at me, people who said to me, oh, you think you better than somebody? Oh, you. The favorite word they like to throw around is, oh, you're bougie. In my opinion, if you have to get up and punch somebody's clock every day, that's the opposite of bougie, okay? I don't take bougie as a compliment, okay? And people who obviously have no aspirations or goals, they don't understand that bougie is not really something to aspire toward. For me, and the way I see it, I think being a feminine, confident woman, you aspire to be comfortable. But that doesn't mean you have to walk around with your nose up in the air. That doesn't mean that you have to put down other people. That just means you no longer tolerate nonsense. And people who are not bougie, who are not trying to do better, don't know the difference. And with them people, you must distance yourself because they're going to cause you to have a confusion, and we don't do the spirit of confusion. Okay? So, to reiterate, feminine women must guard their femininity, guard their mindset by being mindful of the company you keep. And we take in things that make for peace. We want to keep our mind at peace. We want to keep our body at peace. We don't want to be all tensed up and stressed out. Don't be around people that trigger your anxiety, okay? And if you have to be around them, you find ways to make it so that you can tolerate being around them for a little bit, but don't try to be around them longer than you need to be, okay? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content, because I don't deal with the aesthetics of being a woman. I deal with being a woman and the things we deal with at our core. All right? Take care.